Dear students, nowadays it is European football time, and we are going to look at how the banana kick in football is being done and what is the physics behind this banana kick in football. Yes, you guessed it right. It is a kick done by Roberto Carlos, a Brazilian footballer, in some years back. So what is that banana kick? Suppose if you consider this to be a football, then the footballer kicks it sideways. Okay, when it kicks sideways, what happens? This ball goes and spins and moves. Okay, so when it spins and moves, it moves in the anti-clockwise direction like this. So when it moves like this, the air on this side is also moving this way, and the ball is also rotating in the same direction, and the air on the other side is moving this way, whereas ball is moving in the other direction, right? So what happens here, the velocity of the air gets reduced because the ball is moving in the opposite direction, whereas here the velocity of the air gets speeded up. Okay, so it becomes greater because ball is also moving, and along with the ball the air is getting dragged. So the velocity here becomes greater, and therefore then what happens, the air pressure on this side becomes less. When the air pressure on this side becomes less, air from the other side pushes this ball towards the lower pressure. That is, the ball is kicked like this. Now a lower pressure is there on this side. There is a reaction force that is coming on this side due to the lower pressure, and the ball turns and goes into the goal. This is what is called the banana kick. This is the physics behind the banana kick, right? So in the same way, if it has been, the footballer can kick on this side. Okay, so if you kick on the right side, it is anti-clockwise, it is called top spin. If it is kicked on this side, it is clockwise direction, it will rotate, and the same effect will take place here. So this was first found and explained by the scientist called Magnus. So it is called a Magnus effect. Okay, but we are all cricket enthusiasts, right? So in cricket we will try to explain what happens in the case of a swing and what happens in the case of a spin, and what is the difference between the two. Firstly, in swing, okay, in swing what happens, the cricket ball moves in air, and it turns in air itself, it curves in the air itself, and also after pitching turns. Okay, in which direction it will turn, in a few minutes you will come to know. And whereas in the case of spin is done only with the hands, wrist, and the certain fingers, that is these three fingers, right? These three fingers. And the spin, the ball turns only after pitching, not in air. That's the basic difference between swing and spin. Now let us see the cricket ball. The cricket ball, you see, you have two sides, okay, then both the sides are joined together, and stitching is done at the center. So this stitching, what is done here, that is what is called the seam. Now the seam is going to play a very important role. Once again, you look at this. This is the stitching done at the center by two sides of the ball, right? Now this seam is going to play a very important role in swing. Now when the bowler comes, and when in the case of a new ball, the bowler, fast bowler, bowls it, right? When the ball is delivered, what happens? The ball rotates. Ball, let us say, rotates. Now let us say the new ball, both sides are shinier. Okay, all the sides are shiny, but the fielding side always try to keep one side shinier than the other by taking saliva, by applying saliva, by applying its sweat, and then rubbing on clothes. So therefore they are trying to make one side a little shinier than the other. Suppose, let us say, this is the most shinier side. When the ball is delivered, what happens? Ball keeps on moving like this, right? When the ball is moving like this, and when ball is delivered, now the ball moves in the curved position. When the ball is moved, now usually the fast bowler, instead of keeping the seam like this, they always keep the seam in a tilted direction. So when the ball moves, okay, the ball is moving like this, then the air is coming this side, the air is coming this side also. So when the air is coming this side is a shinier surface, smooth surface, it goes without any problem. It's a laminar flow. Whereas the air is coming this side, it has to come through the seam. So seam disrupts the airflow and there is a turbulent flow. And because of the turbulent flow, the velocity with which it comes here, the air rushes here, is greater, and therefore the pressure here is lower, and therefore the ball moves like this. That is along the seam the ball moves. This is your conventional swing. Okay, so the ball is pitched here, it will move this way. If the ball is pitched here, it will move this way. That is towards the rough surface. That is towards the rough surface. If it is pitched here, it will move this way, because this is shinier surface, this is rough surface. This way it will move. Now, when the ball is already taken so much of time, when the overs are, say, 30 to 40 overs are already over, then what happens is the ball doesn't swing. So again, what happens, both the sides of the ball become rough side, therefore ball doesn't swing. So again, the fielding side makes it one side much more shinier than the other, and therefore now what happens, the ball, when it is delivered, suppose this is the shinier surface, in this case what happens, the air is coming, both sides are roughened, therefore both sides become, the airflow becomes turbulent. But this is a little shinier than the other, so here comparatively the air moves faster. Okay, whereas here the seam disrupts and the air gets split here before it reaches the roughened surface. Air comes here, moves away this side, and therefore what happens, the velocity with which the air rushes on this side is greater, the lower pressure is lower on this side, therefore the ball moves this side, that is towards the shinier surface. That is towards the shinier surface it moves. That is why it is called a reverse swing. So this is first found out by Magnus, so it's called Magnus effect. And the reverse swing, the first discovered by Imran Khan, the captain of Pakistan cricket team and presently the Prime Minister of that country, and which was later on used by Indians also, and the most widely used by the Indian pace bowler Manoj Prabhakar. Now, I hope you understand the physics behind the banana kick as well as swing. Bye bye.